There's no sound.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right, we
Yes.
are meeting and now come to order. This is the quarterly legislative meeting of the Citizen Potawatomi Nation, February the 26th, 2015. If we could offer a word of prayer now to begin our meeting. We might know. I'm going to pray. Grandfather God, watch over everyone. Shiwan Mishnach, Nene Dokum Nishnach. Have pity on us and think peacefully of us. We are asking for a good life. Thank you for everything you have created. Jesus, thank you for giving us your son, Jesus. Heal. Amen. Jean Lambert is ill, so she will not be with us. Representative Whistler and Representative Slavin are in the room with us here, and they are sharing the podium mic because for some reason we're not wired for sound over there. I apologize for that. If we could have the roll call, please, Secretary Treasurer Trousdale.
Chairman Barrett.
Shoda.
Vice Chairman Capps.
Shoda.
Secretary Treasurer Trousdale. Shoda. Representative Eva Marie Carney.
I've got it on unmute all. Is your mic on, Representative Carney? No. Try that. Now try it. No, I'm still not there. One more
Could
time.
you hear me earlier?
I can now.
Shoda. Okay, thanks.
Representative Bersall.
Shoda.
Representative Lambert is absent. Representative Payne.
Shoda.
Representative Johnson.
Shoda.
Representative Dave Carney.
Shoda.
Representative Whistler. Representative Slavin. Representative Wesselhoft.
Shoda.
Representative Kraft. Representative Schmidlkoffer. Representative Barrett. Representative Bowden.
Shoda.
15 present, 1 absent.
See if that'll save. Okay, first item on the agenda is Resolution 1548 from the Health and Human Services Committee. Minutes from the previous meeting on December the 4th of 2014. Secretary Treasurer Trousdale.
Minutes from the quarterly legislative meeting December 4th, 2014. President Chairman Barrett, Vice Chairman Capps, Secretary Treasurer Trousdale, Representatives Barrett, Bersall, Bowden, Dave Carney, Eva Marie Carney, Johnson, Kraft, Lambert, Payne, Schmidlkoffer, Slavin, Wesselhoft, Whistler. None were absent. Guests were Chris Abel, Greg Quinlan, and Jamie Mocha. Chairman Barrett called the meeting to order at 6:55 p.m., followed by invocation and roll call. First item of business, minutes from the previous meeting of September 16th, 2014. Motion to approve minutes was made by Representative Payne, seconded by Representative Lambert. 16 in favor, 0 opposed. Second item of business, minutes from special electronic meeting of November 14th, 2014. Motion to approve the minutes as read was made by Representative Dave Carney, seconded by Representative Bersall. 16 in favor, 0 opposed. Third item of business, Resolution 15-47-R&G. A resolution approving the rescheduling of the quarterly meeting of the legislature from Thursday, November 27th, 2014 to Thursday, December 4th, 2014. Motion to approve Resolution 15-47-R&G was made by Representative Lambert, seconded by Vice Chairman Capps. 16 in favor, 0 opposed. Fourth item of business, Resolution 15-37-NR. A resolution approving the Citizen Potawatomi Nation's grant application for funding under the United States Bureau of Indian Affairs fiscal year 2015 Endangered Wildlife Program. Motion to approve Resolution 15-37-NR was made by Representative Westhoff, seconded by Representative Barrett. 16 in favor, 0 opposed. Fifth item of business, Resolution 15-38-NR, a resolution approving the Citizen Potawatomi Nation's grant application for funding under the U.S. Bureau of Indian Affairs fiscal year 2015 invasive wildlife program. Motion to approve Resolution 15-38-NR was made by Representative Smith-Coffer, seconded by Representative Bursall. Motion passed 16 in favor, 0 opposed. Sixth item of business, Resolution 15-39-TCNA, a resolution supporting the Citizen Potawatomi Nation's Wildlife Warriors Project application for funding through the Bureau of Indian Affairs fiscal year 2015 Tribal Youth Initiative Program and authorizing the implementation thereof if awarded. Motion to approve Resolution 15-39-TCNA was made by Representative Eva Marie Carney, seconded by Representative Bowden. Motion passed 16 in favor, 0 opposed. Seventh item of business, Resolution 15-40-NR, a resolution supporting the update of the Citizen Potawatomi Nation's Long-Range Transportation Plan and requesting the Bureau of Indian Affairs implement these changes to the nation's Long-Range Transportation Plan. Motion to approve Resolution 15-40-NR is made by Representative Kraft, seconded by Representative Lambert. Motion passed 16 in favor, 0 opposed. Eighth item of business, Resolution 15-41-NR, a resolution supporting the addition of new routes as identified in Attachment A to the nation's existing road inventory field data system and requesting the Bureau of Indian Affairs to add these new routes to the nation's road inventory field data system. Motion to approve Resolution 15-41-NR was made by Representative Barrett, seconded by Representative Whistler. Motion passed 16 in favor, 0 opposed. Ninth item of business, Resolution 15-42-NR, a resolution adopting the Citizen Potawatomi Nation's updated Tribal Transportation Program Transportation Improvement Plan and approving submittal of the plan to the Federal Highway Administration. Motion to approve Resolution 15-42-NR was made by Vice Chairman Capps, seconded by Representative Kraft. Motion passed 16 in favor, 0 opposed. 10th item of business, Resolution 15-43-APP, a resolution authorizing a request to the Bureau of Indian Affairs for disbursement of funds being held on behalf of the Citizen Potawatomi Nation. Motion to approve Resolution 15-43-APP was made by Representative Barrett, seconded by Representative Whistler. Motion passed 16 in favor, 0 opposed. 11th item of business, Resolution 15-44-LCOE, a resolution for the conditional relinquishment of Catherine Dawn Howell. Motion to approve Resolution 15-44-LCOE was made by Representative Kraft, seconded by Representative Bursall. Motion passed 16 in favor, 0 opposed. 12th item of business, Resolution 15-45-LCOE, a resolution for the conditional relinquishment of Molly Maxine Davis. Motion to approve Resolution 15-45-LCOE was made by Representative Whistler, seconded by Representative Payne. Motion passed 16 in favor, 0 opposed. 13th item of business, Resolution 15-46-LCOE, a resolution enrolling 157 applicants into the membership of the Citizen Potawatomi Nation. Motion to approve Resolution 15-46-LCOE was made by Representative Wesselhoff, seconded by Representative Johnson. Motion passed 16 in favor, 0 opposed. 14th item of business, adjournment. There being no further business before the legislature, motion to adjourn was made by Representative Smith-Coffer, seconded by Representative Whistler. Motion passed 16 in favor, 0 opposed. Meeting adjourned at 8:20 p.m.
There is an umlaut over the O in Representative Wesselhoff's name.
Yes, there is.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken, and I am on Sudafed, so
Hold
I
on.
might not be thinking.
Hold on, lady. You're all hopped up on Sudafed.
Yeah, I am. Got a nasal infection. But I thought that we, last legislature, or one before that, we were going to accept the minutes, if there are no objections, by acclamation as they are published, instead of reading them. Am I mistaken? I thought we had done that to save time.
The idea was that we were going to create basically a consent agenda. There was discussion of that, but there was not a motion to do that. What's everyone's temperature on that?
I thought that you had to have it on the record, that we needed it for our guides.
But we read them in when initially the bills are passed, so reading back through that set of titles, how about as a compromise to this, that in the reading of the minutes of the previous meeting, that we simply cite the resolution number so that we can confirm that the prior agenda, it was of record. That we don't have to read the rest of the title other than Resolution 1547 RNG,
I like that.
Vote count.
and then vote it.
Always go back.
And then we
If
can
there's no
approve it.
objection, then we just accept it by acclamation.
Right, and then we go to just roll call that back in. That would take considerably less time, but it is at least a confirmation that the prior meeting confirmed the bill. So let me get off of this. Okay, get off the self-view. Did everyone get that? What we decided to do was, as a matter of procedure, in the reading of the minutes of the previous meeting, we are going to, when we read them, we're going to cite the resolution number. We are not going to read the full title. And then we'll be voting then on the minutes as a resolution cite in order to save time. Because sometimes when we have a 40-item agenda, we spend a considerable amount of time. Is that satisfactory with everyone as a matter of procedure? You want to have any objection, raise your hand. All right, we'll consider that done from a procedural standpoint. Next item on the agenda, we need to vote on the minutes. We got a roll call, please.
Chairman Barrett,
Koenig.
Vice Chairman Capps is just
She voted yes.
She voted yes.
Yes.
Secretary Treasurer Trousdale, Koenig. Representative Eva Marie Carney.
Let me get out of this one. There we go.
Second.
And there we go.
Representative Eva Marie Carney.
Onagay.
Representative Bersall.
Conagay.
Representative Payne.
He's off.
Representative Johnson.
Conagay.
Representative Dave Carney.
Conagay.
Representative Whistler. Representative Slavin. Representative Wesselhoff.
Koenig.
Representative Kraft. Representative Spindlecoffer. Representative Bowden.
Koenig.
Representative Barrett.
Koenig.
Fine, Randy.
This system that we have here, we are exploring alternatives. We continue to have difficulties with it, so we're still working on another way to do it. We think that Skype GoToMeeting, something along those lines is the way we're going to end up. Great. The first item on the agenda is Resolution 1548, Health and Human Services. If you could read that into the record, please, Secretary Treasurer Trousdale.
Resolution 15-48-HHS, a resolution approving a memorandum of understanding between the Citizen Potawatomi Nation and the Amarine Risk Management Corporation for an offering of property and casualty insurance products to the persons residing within the boundaries of the Citizen Potawatomi Nation. Whereas the Citizen Potawatomi Nation is a federally recognized tribe of American Indians with constitutional authority under the Act of June 18, 1934, and the Oklahoma Indian Welfare Act of June 26, 1936. And whereas the Citizen Potawatomi Nation has sovereign powers that are inherent in tribal tradition, derived from a history of organized self-government since time immemorial, and recognized by treaties with the United States and in the Constitution of the United States. And whereas Article 4, Section 3 of the Citizen Potawatomi Nation Constitution provides for a separation of powers of the tribal government by the reservation and delegation of specific powers to other entities of the tribal government, and except for these specific limitations, all other general powers of the government are embodied in the legislature's authority to enact legislation, transact business, and otherwise speak and act on behalf of the Citizen Potawatomi Nation in all matters on which the nation is empowered to act now or in the future. And whereas many of those residing within the boundaries of the Citizen Potawatomi Nation tribal jurisdiction are underserved by the insurance industry in regard to property and casualty products, and whereas the Citizen Potawatomi Nation wishes to promote the protection and preservation of all persons and property within its tribal jurisdiction, and whereas the Citizen Potawatomi Nation is an equity member in good standing of the Amaranth Risk Pool, a sovereign 25 USC subsection 477, section 17 corporation, and whereas Amaranth Risk Management Corporation has federally approved plans of insurance for property and casualty perils available to offer at reasonable prices. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the legislature of the Citizen Potawatomi Nation that a resolution approving a memorandum of understanding between the Citizen Potawatomi Nation and Amaranth Risk Management describing Amaranth's plan to offer and bind federally approved plans of property and casualty insurance products to persons residing with the jurisdiction of the Citizen Potawatomi Nation is hereby approved.
Amend that to within. Amend, and the last paragraph, the resolution paragraph, that goes to within the jurisdiction of the Citizen Potawatomi Nation. As a word of explanation, this, when it describes jurisdiction, we are assuming trust land. Am I correct in that?
Is that federal bound reservation boundaries?
End of Meridian, the way I thought.
Well, we have apartments and family housing that are not under the housing authority, but are tribally owned. The number of rental properties and apartments on trust property that aren't covered under the housing authority's insurance. So this is basically an offer to those families that live on trust land that own this. And I think that this is the intent of this is that anything between the North Canadian River and the South Canadian River, and Indian Meridian and Seminole Line, fee land, privately owned, that we can offer a savings on property and casualty insurance. If that's the case, I would be surprised. Any Potawatomi tribal member lives within our jurisdiction on a reservation. So it is that. Well, our tribal territorial jurisdiction is trust land. The original reservation boundary. So I didn't get that out of her explanation, did you?
Chairman,
I don't live it.
Chairman, the text that Linda sent me, I'm on that committee, and it says this insurance can now be offered to any Potawatomi tribal member who lives within our jurisdiction, former reservation. It's a lower rate insurance that could possibly help a lot of our people.
Great.
Yeah, that's the.
So that's anyone within the old reservation boundary. Well, that'll include 4 of you. So that's a lot of people. Okay. The Representative Eva Marie Carney. I'm sorry, your mic's still not on. I got it. Hold on. Let me get the system is. The system is. Let's see what's going on here. I don't understand why that won't. That should have turned her mic on. Do you have green mic yet, Eva Marie Carney? Representative Carney?
I don't have
There
a
we go.
color
There we go. Now it's on.
phone. Okay. I'm just proposing that we clarify the language in the resolution, because the title indicates that it's the boundaries of the Citizen Potawatomi Nation. which isn't the former boundaries, and then the jurisdictional references seem to suggest to me anybody that's given themselves over to the jurisdiction of the tribe. So I think we need to clean it up. And then my other comment is I'm assuming that we are not taking on any liability or responsibility in connection with the offer of these products, simply allowing access to people to whom they may be offered. Is that correct?
Well, that's correct. I mean, but the resolution mentions that we are equity members in the Amaranth Risk Pool. So you're right. It needs clarification. Can I assume that you are intending a motion to table?
I don't know that this is something that needs to be done tonight, so yeah, I think that it might be useful to do that in order to clean it up.
Okay, we'll clarify boundaries and jurisdiction in particular, and whether or not the tribe is involved outside of the risk pool. We are, of course, as members of the risk pool, we're sharing in the risk, but it's probably in a considerably limited manner.
Co-offer.
And if it's a 477 corporation under 25 USC, the assumption here is that the insurance company is not going to take sovereign immunity protections if there's a claim. So that's something that needs to be resolved in particular, because the Section 17 corporation is a Section 17 under 25 USC is the Federal Indian Corporation. So I'll get this straightened out. I'm going to table it.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
is it possible?
Let me call on you here. Boy, this thing is not working well. Okay, go to camera wide. Go to self view. Okay, go ahead, Representative Westlaw.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I don't know how urgent this resolution is, but Representative Carney could also offer an amendment to clean it up right now, and we could go on with it instead of tabling it. But
Well, it appears, though, that it's a fairly complex amendment in that even the title of the bill is going to have to be rewritten, I think. Because she makes an excellent point that the phrase boundaries of the Citizen Potawatomi Nation, it doesn't say original reservation boundaries, or whether it's present day boundary, or whether it's trust land boundary, or what. I think the whole intent of the bill, from Ms. Cap's explanation, was that anyone that lives in that the old original jurisdiction can apply for the insurance. The question is, I'm not sure how, and I'm not sure how that risk pool does that. And property and casualty insurance is a rule. Does that? Can that insurance be applied to a lender? Most of the times, if your house is insured and you have a note, you're obligated to, for total loss, pay the note off. So we need to clear it up fairly substantially, I believe. So that's tabled. Next item on the agenda, Representative Carney.
Thank you, Chairman Barrett. I just wanted to clarify that not only was I concerned with the language, but also with ensuring that we are simply facilitating the company's plan to offer the insurance and not somehow taking on our own liability with respect to that. And I don't really know what we're doing here, and I didn't have time to really look at the memorandum of understanding, nor am I a lawyer for the tribe, so I'm not speaking in that respect, but I'm not sure that I understand what we're doing by entering into a memorandum of understanding. So that was the other question that I would propose that we have answers to when this comes back.
Well, we appreciate your legal advice, and we're going to.
Not legal advice.
Actually, I have a question too about what the extent of the meaning is of us being a member of the risk pool, how that applies to the offer of coverage. So we'll move on to Resolution 1549 HHS. If you could read that into the record, please, Secretary Treasurer Trousdale.
Resolution 15-49-HHS, a resolution authorizing the submission of a proposed tribal transit grant application for funding through the United States Department of Transportation, Federal Transit Administration under the fiscal year 2014 Public Transportation on Indian Reservations Program. First three whereas, the same as read in previous resolution. The fourth whereas, the Citizen Potawatomi Nation is submitting a grant application to expand its existing transit services based on the need as evidenced by the increasing number of transportation requests. And whereas the proposed project is for 1 year with an estimated cost of up to $400,000, which will be used to purchase new equipment and a tribal match of $40,000 in the form of personnel, facilities, supplies, drivers, cell phones, and vehicle insurance. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the legislature of the Citizen Potawatomi Nation that a resolution authorizing the submission of the Citizen Potawatomi Nation's application for funding to the United States Department of Transportation Federal Transit Administration under the fiscal year 2014 Public Transportation on Indian Reservations Program is hereby approved. Now, therefore, be it further resolved that by act of this resolution, and consistent with the separation of powers defined in the Constitution, if awarded, an appropriation of up to $400,000 from the fiscal year 2014 Tribal Transit Fund or other applicable accounts for the implementation, negotiation, operation, enforcement, procurement, settlement, and/or completion of this contract, compact, regulation, or agreement by the tribal chairman or his designate is hereby authorized.
Are there any additions, deletions, discussion? Representative Kraft? Hold on one second. Let me get the camera. There we go. Representative Kraft?
Thank you, Chairman Barrett. I would just like some clarification from Tasha, perhaps, self-governance. $400,000 in new equipment, what is that? Is it just the iPads and the technology? Is it a new vehicle? Like passenger vans? Okay, thank you.
That we're operating 12 buses, and 3 of them have over 100,000 miles on them. So I hope those vehicles really ought to last longer than 100,000 miles, really. I mean, 100,000 miles was kind of the trade-in time back in the 1980s, but this day and age, they're supposed to last longer since they cost as much as a house. And they're commercial vehicles, so I hope she runs 15 buses for a while. Is she going to trade them in, or? Okay. Thank you. Any other questions? Chair would entertain a motion to approve the resolution as read. Motion made by Representative Bowden, second by Representative Eva Marie Carney.
Mr. Chairman, I was not seconding the motion.
You're asking a question? I lost the sound again. I'm sorry. Try one more time. I have a little technical difficulty here. Try it one more time, Representative Carney, see if your mic's on. No? I've lost sound, Chris. Is it the camera wide that's doing it? Say again? Yeah, the little crown's supposed to come up if her mic goes on, but for some reason it's not doing it. Can you give us a test 1, 2, 3? No.
Anyone read lips around here?
Okay, I'm gonna go to drop the unmute all. Try that. Okay. Let's see if John's on.
Test 1, 2,
There we
3.
go. All right, I'm gonna go back to Eva Marie Carney and see if hers will come on now. John? There we
I
go.
have it on. Chairman Barrett, I was not seconding the motion. I was trying to wave my hand before the motion was made to say that there was a question you had not recognized from Representative Dave Carney.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
And I didn't have a question. When somebody's in the chamber, we can't hear out in the districts. We didn't hear anything that Ms. Zelnick said.
Oh, the question was that of what by Representative Kraft was what the $400,000 was going to be used for. $120,000 is for the dispatch and coordination system. It's iPod based, and in each of the vehicles, the remaining is 3 new buses that will replace 3 buses that are over 100,000 miles. Was the question that the information that was exchanged there.
Is it possible for people in the chamber to try to speak into the microphone or a microphone? It's just we don't hear anything.
Right. What's happened is we took the podium mic and moved it over for the use of Representative Whistler and Slavin because for some reason the pickups on the mics at those positions, the system's not acknowledging them. We're still having some difficulty. And I'm also getting the same picture deterioration, Chris, on Representative Johnson that preceded our loss of signal to Representative Payne. We're going to have to get some tin cans and string. We lost Johnson. I just lost Johnson.
You got Payne.
No, got Payne back. Got Representative. Welcome back, Randy. But we're getting ready to lose you again. But we lost Representative Johnson. We are demoing the new system after this meeting, and hopefully we will. There we go. Representative Johnson's back. All right, where are we? I'm looking for a second. I'm going to unmute everything, see if that works. Second by Representative Bursaw. Roll call, please.
Chairman Barrett.
Konigay.
Secretary Treasurer Trousdale. Konigay. Representative Eva Marie Carney.
Honegay,
Representative Bursall.
Conagay.
Representative Payne.
Konigay.
Representative Payne, how did you vote on the minutes?
He was against.
He was against it.
No, he voted in favor of it.
Representative Johnson.
Conagay.
Is it R2D2?
Auto tune.
Representative Dave Carney.
Koenig.
Representative Whistler. Representative Slavin. Representative Wesselhoff.
Koenig.
Representative Kraft.
Koenig.
Representative Spindlecoffer. Representative Bowden.
Koenig.
Representative Barrett.
Koenig.
14 in favor, 2 absent.
14 in favor, 2 absent. Next is Resolution 1550 JNPS. If you could read that into the record, please.
Resolution 15-50-J&PS, a resolution authorizing and approving the renewal of the Juvenile Detention Services Agreement by and between the Sisseton Potawatomi Nation and the Saxon Fox Nation. First 3 whereas, the same as read in the previous resolution. The fourth whereas, the Sisseton Potawatomi Nation Indian Child Welfare Department desires to enter into an agreement with the Sac and Fox Nation for juvenile services at the Sac and Fox Nation Juvenile Facility located in Stroud, Oklahoma. And whereas the Sisseton Potawatomi Nation recognizes that the agreement for the detention services is on an as-needed basis and is contingent on available space as determined by the Sac and Fox Nation Juvenile Facility. And whereas admission to the Sac and Fox Juvenile Facility shall be allowed only by a written order of the Sisseton Potawatomi Nation Court Judge. Now therefore be resolved by the legislature of the Sisseton Potawatomi Nation that a resolution authorizing the renewal of an agreement for juvenile detention services between the Sisseton Potawatomi Nation and the Sac and Fox Nation is hereby approved. Now therefore be further resolved that by act of this resolution and consistent with the separation of powers defined in the Constitution, an appropriation of up to $2,500 from Indian Child Welfare account for the negotiation, operation, enforcement, procurement, settlement, and or completion of this contract or agreement by the tribal chairman or his designate is hereby authorized.
Is there any additions, deletions, discussion? Chair would entertain a motion to approve the resolution as read. Motion made by Representative Kraft, seconded by Representative Dave Carney. Roll call, please.
Chairman Barrett.
Koenig.
Secretary Treasurer Trousdale. Koenig. Representative Eva Marie Carney.
Koenig.
Representative Bursaw.
Koenig.
Representative Payne.
Koenig.
Representative Johnson.
Koenig.
Representative Dave Carney.
Koenig.
Representative Whistler. Representative Slavin. Representative Wesselhoff.
Koenig.
Representative Kraft.
Koenig.
Representative Spindlecoffer. Representative Bowden.
Koenig.
Representative Barrett.
Koenig.
14 in favor, 2 absent.
Next item on the agenda is Resolution 1551 JNPS. If you could read that into the record, please, Secretary Treasurer Trousdale.
Resolution 15-51-JNPS, a resolution approving and supporting the Sisseton Potawatomi Nation's grant application for funding under the Department of Justice fiscal year 2015 Coordinated Tribal Assistance Solicitation, CTAS, to continue development of comprehensive approaches to public safety and criminal justice. First 3 whereas, the same as read in previous resolution. The fourth whereas, the Sisseton Potawatomi Nation has identified a need for increased law enforcement equipment and enhancement of a healing to wellness court. And whereas the United States Department of Justice Coordinated Tribal Assistance Solicitation has announced the availability of grant funds to improve tribal law enforcement and justice systems with the stipulation that these funds are available for a variety of specified purposes as outlined in 10 purpose areas. And under purpose area number 1, the Sisseton Potawatomi Nation is proposing an upgrade to the tribal police fleet of vehicles at an estimated cost of $400,000. And whereas under purpose area number 3, the Sisseton Potawatomi Nation is proposing to enhance the tribal justice system treatment of Native American clients with drug and or alcohol issues at an estimated cost of up to $750,000. Now therefore be it resolved by the legislature of the Citizen Potawatomi Nation, that a resolution supporting the Citizen Potawatomi Nation's grant application for funding under the United States Department of Justice Coordinated Tribal Assistance Solicitation, Purpose Areas Number 1 and Number 3, as described above, is hereby approved. Now therefore be it further resolved that by act of this resolution and considering the separation of powers defined in the Constitution, if awarded, an appropriation of approximately $400,000 from the fiscal year 2015 Public Safety and Community Policing COPS program and up to $750,000 from the fiscal year 2015 Justice Systems and Alcohol and Substance Abuse program or other applicable accounts for the implementation, negotiation, operation, enforcement, procurement, settlement, and or completion of this contract, compact, regulation, or agreement by the tribal chairman or his designate is hereby authorized.
Are there any additions, deletions, corrections, or discussion? Chair will entertain a motion to approve. By the way, Representative Carney, I assume you're acting for the motion, but for those of you who don't know, they changed the name of the drug court to Healing to Wellness Court. Okay. It's kind of a PC thing, I think, but it is the drug court.
So moved.
Okay. The motion, I think by Representative Carney, or was that a question? Representative
That was a
Marie
motion,
Carney?
Chairman.
A motion
That was a
to-
motion.
And a second by Representative Wesselhoff. Roll call, please. Secretary Treasurer Trousdale.
Chairman Barrett,
Konigay?
Secretary Treasurer Trousdale Konigay, Representative Eva Marie Carney,
Konigay.
Representative Bursall,
Konigay.
Representative Payne,
Konigay.
Representative Johnson,
Konigay.
Representative Dave Carney,
Konigay.
Representative Whistler, Representative Slavin, Representative Wesselhoff,
Konigay.
Representative Kraft, Representative Schmitthofer, Representative Bowden, Representative Barrett, 14 in favor, 2 absent.
14 in favor, 2 absent. It is approved. Next item on the agenda is Resolution 15, is it 1502, JNPS. And this is a tribal ordinance, so it'd be T15. So if we could read that into the record to get this done. There we go. And exit, main screen, self-view. You read that into the record, please, Secretary Treasurer Trousdale.
Ordinance number 15-02-J&PS-T15. An ordinance amending Title 15 Drug Court Administration and Procedure of the Tribal Code of the Citizen Potawatomi Nation. Whereas the Tribal Code of the Citizen Potawatomi Nation requires updating from time to time in order to remain responsive to current needs, and whereas the tribal court system is applying for a grant from the United States Department of Justice to enhance the tribal justice system response to Native American offenders with substance abuse programs by diverting them away from the regular court system toward more holistic approaches involving treatment-oriented perspectives. Now therefore be it ordained by the legislature of the Citizen Potawatomi Nation that Title 15 of the Tribal Code of the Citizen Potawatomi Nation, Drug Court Administration, is hereby deleted in its entirety to create a new Title 15 of the Tribal Code, Healing to Wellness Court, as attached. Now therefore be it enacted by the legislature of the Citizen Potawatomi Nation that an ordinance establishing Title 15 Healing to Wellness Court of the Citizen Potawatomi Nation Tribal Code is hereby approved. Effective date, this ordinance shall become effective upon adoption by the legislature of the Citizen Potawatomi Nation.
Are there any additions, deletions, discussion? Chair will entertain a motion to approve the Representative Wesselhoff.
I have a question, Mr. Chairman. I'm certainly in support of this, especially for a first-time offense, but I'm wondering about subsequent offenses. If we continue to send them into the same system, or is there a prohibit? Is there a stipulation that they can only do this one time? Or I haven't read all the supplement documents. I'm trying to find it. Number 8, page 2.
Yeah, I think it's, yeah.
Okay,
it's,
that's what I'm looking for. Thank you.
Are there any other questions? Representative Carney, were you able to get that, were you able to hear that on their mic?
I was. I was thinking that we'd already approved it, and we were just reading it into the record. Maybe I've lost track.
That was the ordinance to the resolution.
We approved the resolution. We have not approved actually, though the ordinance itself was included in the resolution. So we have already approved. No, we haven't.
You have to approve the ordinance
Yeah,
as well.
we have to approve the ordinance and the resolution both.
I see. Okay, thank you.
So the chair entertain a motion to approve the ordinance as amended. Is that an original ordinance?
Yes, not amended.
It's not amended. That's an original ordinance. No, it's an amendment. It's Title 15 amendment. It's Administration and Procedure amendment. So the chair entertain a motion to approve the ordinance amending the Title 15 Drug Court Administration and Procedure.
It's an amending ordinance, not an amended ordinance. There's a difference. We're not voting on ordinance. It's okay.
Chair would entertain a motion to approve the ordinance, amending ordinance, as read. Motion made by Representative Whistler, seconded by Representative Eva Marie Carney. Roll call, please.
Chairman Barrett.
Koenig.
Secretary Treasurer Trousdale. Koenig. Representative Eva Marie Carney.
Honegay.
Representative Bursaw.
Carnegie.
Representative Payne.
Carnegie.
Representative Johnson.
Carnegie.
Representative Dave Carney.
Carnegie.
Representative Whistler. Representative Slavin. Representative Wesselhoff.
Koenig.
Representative Kraft.
Renegade.
Representative Schmidelkoffer. Representative Bowden.
Renegade.
Representative Barrett. 14 in favor, 2 absent.
14 in favor, 2 absent. The ordinance is approved. The amending ordinance is approved. Next is it 52? Yes. Resolution 1552, JNPS. You'd read that into the record, please, Secretary Treasurer Trousdale.
Resolution 15-52-JNPS, a resolution approving and supporting the Citizen Potawatomi Nation's one-time funding request to the Bureau of Indian Affairs Office of Trust Services. First 3 whereas, the same as read in previous resolution. The 4th whereas, the Bureau of Indian Affairs has announced the availability of a funding opportunity with the stipulation that these funds are available for attorney fees and litigation support. And whereas the BIA attorney fee funds are for legal fees of private legal counsel retained by tribes to represent in litigation, negotiations, or proceedings that involve the protection of tribal trust resources or tribal treaty rights. And now, therefore, be it resolved by the legislature of the Citizen Potawatomi Nation that a resolution supporting the Citizen Potawatomi Nation's application for a one-time funding request to the Bureau of Indian Affairs Office of Trust Services is hereby approved. Now, therefore, be it further resolved that by act of this resolution and consistent with the separation of powers defined in the Constitution, if awarded, an appropriation of up to $250,000 from the BIA-OTS account or other applicable accounts for the implementation, negotiation, operation, enforcement, procurement, settlement, and/or completion of this contract, compact, regulation, or agreement by the tribal chairman or his designate is hereby authorized.
Is there discussion? Representative Wesselhoff?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Since, to my knowledge, we've never done this before, are we pretty optimistic that we'll get this fund from the Bureau of Indian Affairs?
No,
We're not optimistic?
not really.
Okay. But we're going to give it a try.
Going to give it a shot.
I'll move the motion.
Okay. Any other discussion? Is there a second to Representative Wesselhoff, Representative Barrett? Seconds. Roll call, please.
Chairman Barrett,
Koenig?
Secretary Treasurer Trousdale, Koenig, Representative Eva Marie Carney,
Koenig,
Representative Bursall,
Koenig.
Representative Payne,
Koenig.
Representative Johnson,
Koenig.
Representative Dave Carney,
Koenig.
Representative Whistler, Representative Slavin, Representative Wesselhoft,
Koenig.
Representative Kraft,
Koenig.
Representative Smittelkofer, Representative Bowden, Representative Barrett.
Okay.
14 in favor, 2 absent.
14 in favor, 2 absent. It is approved. Next is Resolution 1553 on the Appropriations Committee of the Whole. If you could read that into the record, please, Secretary Treasurer Trousdale.
Resolution 15-53-APP, a resolution authorizing a request to the Bureau of Indian Affairs for disbursement of the balance of funds being held on behalf of the citizen Potawatomi Nation. First three whereas are the same as read in previous resolution. The fourth whereas, the present balance in account PL number 7476705 being held by the Bureau of Indian Affairs on behalf of the citizen Potawatomi Nation is approximately $29,873.21. And whereas these funds are separate and distinct from the trust fund judgment monies previously withdrawn from BIA management, and whereas the citizen Potawatomi Nation is hereby requesting continuing disbursement of the funds as they are received by the Bureau of Indian Affairs to be utilized by the nation for trust property management. Now therefore be it resolved by the legislation of the citizen Potawatomi Nation that a resolution requesting continuing disbursement of the entire balance of funds being held by the Bureau of Indian Affairs on behalf of the citizen Potawatomi Nation is hereby approved. Now therefore be it further resolved that by act of this resolution and consistent with the separation of powers defined in the Constitution, an appropriation of the balance in account number PL 7476705 of approximately $29,873.21 from the Tribal Trust Property Management account or other applicable accounts for the implementation, negotiation, operation, enforcement, procurement, settlement, and or completion of this contract, compact, regulation, or agreement by the tribal chairman or his designate is hereby authorized.
Are there any additions, deletions, corrections, or discussion? This is primarily agricultural lease money. I think there's one right-of-way payment, pipeline right-of-way payment. It's a nuisance that the Bureau doesn't send it automatically, but they have to have a resolution to do so. Chair would entertain a motion to approve the resolution as read. Motion made by Representative Dave Carney, seconded by Representative Randy Payne. Roll call, please, Secretary Treasurer Trousdale.
Chairman Barrett,
Koenig.
Secretary Treasurer Trousdale, Koenig,
Sorry. There we go.
Representative Eva Marie Carney,
Koenig,
Representative Bursall,
Koenig.
Representative Payne,
Koenig.
Representative Johnson,
Koenig.
Representative Dave Carney,
Koenig.
Representative Whistler, Representative Slavin, Representative Wesselhoff,
Koenig.
Representative Kraft,
Koenig.
Representative Smittelkofer, Representative Bowden,
Koenig.
Representative Barrett.
Koenig.
14 in favor, 2 absent.
14 in favor, 2 absent is approved. Can't seem to get that preset to stay there. Save. Percussive maintenance. Next item on the agenda is Resolution 1554, LCOE, Legislative Committee on Enrollment. If you could read that into the record, please, Secretary Treasurer Trousdale.
Resolution 15-54-LCOE, a resolution of enrollment into the membership of the Citizen Potawatomi Nation. First three whereas are the same as read in previous resolution. The fourth whereas, the following people have requested enrollment in the tribe and meet the requirements for membership as set forth in Article 3 of the Constitution of the Citizen Potawatomi Nation. Delia Abriel Craven, Andrew Vulatis, Olivia Ann Loftus, Riel Regina Renee McCoy, Charles Edward Allen Pendergraft, Sean Keith Pendergraft, Caleb Thompson Michael Pendergraft, Kelsey Gale Stone, Kinsey Deanne Stone, Kylie Elizabeth Stone, Blakely Marie Barton, Taylor Marie Buchanan, Leela Ray Carmichael, David Joseph Collins, Joshua David Collins, Jacob Michael Collins, Lelania Maya Martic, Nathaniel Lane Mendenhall, Madison Jade Pittman, Ruby Lane Rogers, Hudson Andrew Bromauer, Aaron Lewis Chestnut, Juliana Lauren Chestnut, Tracy Jean Bourgeois, Harley Jade Hewlett, Jesse Davis Milo, Sabrina Diane Milo, Jimmy Keith Mulvaney, Erica Lynn Roelofs, Zane David Smith, Kate Austin Smith, Stephen Nelson Asher Pena, Brian Scott Valentine, Gentry Elias Byler, Lauren Michaela Denton, Yuri Aiden Hayes, Lily Noel Clark, Israelia May Livingston, Aaron Kyle Livingston, Jesse James Pinkard, Justice Claire Shannon, Nathaniel David Bumgarner, Mark Dwayne Hager, Richard Lee Holloway Jr., Jillian Marie Larson, Shanna Marie Larson, Cheyenne Marie Larson, Cameron Shane Maudlin, Dylan Alexander Reese Givoni, Remington Leanne Russell, Montana G. Russell, Nautica Hope Frazier, Maximum Aurelius DeShazo, Damian Michael Feisler, Uriah James Hembry, Raynon Lee Kinnison, Dakota Ray Maninga, Jaden Sherdell Mayfield, Kaylee Grace Wasson, Brayley Taylor Wasson, Parker Hudson Young, Blake Matthew Denton, Russell Reed Guy, Sue Ellen Renee Houston, Bradley Allen Lund, Danielle Justine Lund, Lola Catherine Porter, Dana Suzanne Shirley, Brandon Lee Shirley, Blake Matthew McConaughey, Amanda Kathleen Wesselhoft, Marina Violet Lozeroff, Jeremy Eugene Carter, Sean Alexander Ferris, Jackson Nicholas Ferris, Kenna Nicole Lee, Christian Cole Moore, Joshua Ryan Moore, Zane Christopher Moore, Dakota Denham Joseph Pollock, Alexander James Thompson, Amira Sanjay Jahari, Aditya Sanjay Jahari, Jalen Jerome McIntyre, Theodore Thomas Milo, Kayla Dawn Walker, Jared Christian Walker, Rebecca Lene Walker, Charis Leanne Walker, Arian Danae Walker, Kalisa Renee Angelique Walker, Bailey Ruth Baumhack, Emmanuel Antonio Coyote, Judah Beatrice Rose Douglas, Jasmine Keturah Ruth Douglas, Julia Lynn Fowler, Gemma Olivia Gingo, Lyric Gail Mormon, Zane Stanley Mormon, Aiden Bruce Glenn Vance, Lexi Jean Baker, Trinity Marie Cargill, Jill Tiffany Disaraso, Disaro, Zachary William Disaro, Cameron Stephen Disaro, Morgan Page Disaro, Abigail Grace Snow. I really told you wrong. It's Disariso.
Yeah. The old back bay Disariso.
Travel packs. Abigail Grace Snow, Nathaniel Christopher Upchurch, Camden Ray Vincent, Braylon Haley Lorraine, Kason Cash Amos, Javi Javier Venegas, Hannah Dale Garrison, Gage Den Garrison, Jackson Kane Mitchell, Austin Shane Mitchell, Hunter Levi Scott Neighbors, Gavin Warner Pierce, Chevelle Renee Seaton, Skylar Candace Young, Jacob Thomas Brian Akili, Jordan Christopher Akili, Joshin Ryan Anthony, Kira Lorraine Haney, Alexander Lee House, Gary Andrew House, Aiden Parker Gibson, Savannah Elaine LaForce, Allison Noel LaForce, Sadie Lynn Painter, Chloe Marie Blocker, Riley Grace Christensen, Angela Christine Dye, Jackson Lee Harper, Ashley Nicole Holtert, Jacob Kyle Kinslow, Andrew Gavin Neal, Elena Shanae Phipps, Hayden Irwin James Rain, Zoe Dawn Taylor. Now therefore be it resolved by the legislature of the Citizen Potawatomi Nation that a resolution enrolling the above named persons as a member of the Citizen Potawatomi Nation who have, by virtue of their written request for enrollment, agreed to the obligations of such membership and consented to the authority and jurisdiction of the government of the Citizen Potawatomi Nation and are now entitled to all the benefits and privileges of the citizenship in the Citizen Potawatomi Nation as described by law and tribal custom is hereby approved.
Are there any additions, deletions, corrections, or discussion? Representative Wesselhoff, is that a close relative? Okay. Would you like to make that resolution, approve that resolution there? Move to something? Okay. Motion by Representative Wesselhoff. Is there a second? Second by Representative Johnson.
Wesselhoff taking over the trial.
One at a time.
One at a time. Roll call, please.
Chairman Barrett,
Konigay.
Secretary Treasurer Trousdale Konigay, Representative Eva Marie Carney,
Konigay.
Hold on. There we go.
Representative Bursall,
Konigay.
Representative Payne,
He Konigay.
okay, Representative Johnson,
Konigay.
Representative Dave Carney,
Konigay.
Representative Whistler, Representative Slavin, Representative Wesselhoff,
Konigay.
Representative Kraft,
Konigay.
Representative Schmidlkoffer, Representative Bowden,
Konigay.
Representative Barrett,
Konigay.
14 in favor, 2 absent.
Mr. Clark, is that correct spelling on VENCL?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I double checked that, but that's probably right. That is correct. Big forward.
Next is Resolution 1555 JNPS. If you could read that into the record, please, Secretary Treasurer Trousdale.
Resolution 15-55-JNPS, a resolution authorizing and supporting the fiscal year 2015 Family Violence Prevention Services grant application to the United States Department of Health and Human Services Administration for children and families. First three whereas, the same as read in the previous resolution. The fourth whereas, Citizen Potawatomi Nation Indian Child Welfare Program has operated a Family Violence Prevention Services Formula Grant for many years and has developed a professional working relationship with the Office of Community Services within the Administration for Children and Families. And whereas the Citizen Potawatomi Nation Indian Child Welfare Program will contract with Project SAFE, UNZR Center, Family Resource Center, and Citizen Potawatomi Nation Tribal Police to provide auxiliary services to victims of family violence and their dependents. And whereas the goals of the family violence component of the Indian Child Welfare Program are to provide immediate shelter and related assistance to victims of family violence and to expand efforts to prevent family violence. And whereas these goals will be met if funding is received from the Administration for Children and Families as a result of this grant application. Now therefore be it resolved by the legislature of the Citizen Potawatomi Nation that a resolution supporting the fiscal year 2015 Family Violence Prevention Services grant application to the United States Department of Health and Human Services Administration for Children and Families is hereby approved. Now therefore be it further resolved that by act of this resolution and consistent with the separation of powers defined in the Constitution, if awarded, an appropriation of up to $85,000 from the Family Violence Prevention or other applicable accounts for the implementation, negotiation, operation, enforcement, procurement, settlement, and or completion of this contract, compact, regulation, or this agreement by the tribal chairman or his designate is hereby approved. Authorized.
Are there any discussion, deletions, additions, corrections? This portion of this money will go to providing a part-time public defender in the tribal court. Since the expanded jurisdiction on family violence, particularly the Federal Act on Prevention of Violence Against Indian Women, we contemplate having the need for a public defender. So we're going to be retaining one for around local attorney for about 8 hours a month. And then beyond that, they'll bill at their regular rate. But the $85,000 is going into the additional funding to the Family Violence Prevention Program. Any discussion? Chairman, entertain a motion to approve the resolution as read. Motion made by Representative Kraft, seconded by Representative Eva Marie Carney. Roll call, please. Secretary Treasurer Trousdale.
Chairman Barrett.
Honeygate.
Secretary Treasurer Trousdale. Koenig. Representative Eva Marie Carney.
Montague.
Representative Bersall.
Conagay.
Representative Payne.
Conagay.
Representative Johnson.
Conagay.
Representative Dave Carney.
Conagay.
Representative Whistler. Representative Slavin. Representative Wilfelhoff.
Koenig.
Representative Kraft.
Koenig.
Representative Smiddlecoffer.
Conagay.
Representative Bowden.
Koenig.
Representative Barrett.
Conagay.
14 in favor, 2 absent.
14 in favor, 2 absent. It is approved. Next is Resolution 1557, LCOE, the Legislative Committee on Enrollment. If you could read that into the record, please. I'm sorry, 56? Oh, I'm sorry, wrong one. Representative, this is Resolution 1556, Natural Resources. If you could read that into the record, please, Secretary Treasurer Trousdale.
Resolution 15-56-NR, a resolution authorizing the Citizen Potawatomi Nation's participation in a climate change assessment program funded by the Bureau of Indian Affairs. First 3 whereas, the same as read in previous resolution. Fourth whereas, the Southern Plains Regional Office of the Bureau of Indian Affairs will select 5 area tribes to participate in a climate change assessment program. And whereas the proposed project will provide information necessary to determine future climate change documents, such as the vulnerability analysis or adaptation plan, and whereas the project will be done in coordination with researchers from the University of Oklahoma Regional and City Planning Program and the United States Geological Survey, South Central Climate Science Center, and whereas, if selected for the program, the Citizen Potawatomi Nation will receive a copy of the assessment that may be used as a planning tool for future projects. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the legislature of the Citizen Potawatomi Nation that a resolution authorizing the Citizen Potawatomi Nation's participation in a climate change assessment program funded by the Bureau of Indian Affairs is hereby approved. Now, therefore, be it further resolved that by act of this resolution and consistent with the separation of powers defined in the Constitution, if awarded, an appropriation of up to $5,000 from the fiscal year 2015 BIA Climate Change Assessment Fund or other applicable accounts for the implementation, negotiation, operation, enforcement, procurement, settlement, and or completion of this contract, compact, regulation, or agreement by the tribal chairman or his designate is hereby authorized.
Any additions, deletions, corrections, or discussion? Chair would entertain a motion to approve the resolution as read. Motion made by Representative Dave Barrett, seconded by Representative Randy Payne. Roll call, please.
Chairman Barrett.
Koenig.
Secretary Treasurer Trousdale. Koenig. Representative Eva Marie Carney.
Montague.
Representative Bersall.
Conagay.
Representative Payne.
Conagay.
Representative Johnson.
Conagay.
Representative Dave Carney.
Conagay.
Representative Whistler. Representative Slavin.
Koenig.
Representative Wesselhoff.
Koenig.
Representative Kraft.
Koenig.
Representative Spindletopper.
Koenig.
Representative Bowden.
Koenig.
Representative Barrett.
Koenig.
14 in favor, 2 absent.
14 in favor, 2 absent. We would, at this point, I'd like to move us into executive session, and then we will adjourn. We will come back on camera to adjourn. We have one more to go. I'm sorry. If you could read 1557 Legislative Committee on enrollment on enrollment into the record, please.
Resolution 15-57-LCOE, a resolution of enrollment into the membership of the Citizen Potawatomi Nation. First 3 whereas are the same as read in previous resolution. The 4th whereas, the following people have requested enrollment in the tribe and meet the requirements for membership as set forth in Article 3 of the Constitution of the Citizen Potawatomi Nation. Rose Marie Brown, Sean Tobin Brown, Haley Lynn Brown. Now therefore be it resolved by the legislature of the Citizen Potawatomi Nation that a resolution enrolling the above named persons as members of the Citizen Potawatomi Nation who have, by virtue of their written request for enrollment, agreed to the obligations of such membership and consented to the authority and jurisdiction of the government of the Citizen Potawatomi Nation, and are now entitled to all benefits and privileges of the citizenship in the Citizen Potawatomi Nation as described by law and tribal custom, is hereby approved.
What family, Chuck?
Actually, it's item named James, and it would be the first time that we ever used her name as an answer. And to tell you the truth on that, but Cora Vivian Stadler, she was alive when she made the application, but she passed away just after the application.
The CP1.
But Rose Marie was born in 49, Cora was born.
John, can you go to a mic?
And the father, mother,
Uh,
when they go to mine.
Yeah, if you would. Let me get you going there on that. They should, use David's if you would. The question was the item A James, which is CP 149, a Latte. This is the first time we've enrolled any descendants of her. So my question was what family? And we're still trying to research that out.
Item A James it'd be the first time that we've used her name as an ancestor for the tribe. I mean, I have to look it up. And Dora Vivian Stadler up there at the top, E1937, she enrolled when she was alive, but just after we got the paper, she passed away.
Okay.
So we had to kind of rewrite it as her being eligible for the 1937 census. If she was still alive, it would have just been Edna Parr that was eligible, and then going down to item A James.
Okay.
But I mean, they
Is
supplied
Rose Marie
all
still
the
alive?
Birth certificates and death certificates, and I looked on the allotment row, and everything matches up. There's no doubt.
Where is 149?
CP 149. I'm not sure where it's at on the map.
Okay. Rosemary Brown still alive?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Okay, any other questions? Representative Eva Marie Carney?
I don't even know where to start with questions because I don't understand the basis for the enrollment. Maybe
This is
Mr. Clark could
basically
go
one
through it?
where the Constitution says they have to have a live parent in order to
Yes.
get enrolled, or their parent had to have been enrolled. Actually,
Yes.
the Thora Vivian Stadler wasn't enrolled. Was she enrolled in 37?
She would have been eligible.
Yeah, she was eligible to be enrolled under the 37, but she died right after she submitted the papers. So Edna Parr, the grandmother, was the last descendant. So we have the authority to waive the immediate descendancy rule and enroll Rose Marie Brown. We've done this in the past, where we have we waive the mandatory immediate descendant rule, one generation rule.
I'm just not understanding, so I guess I'll just have to vote no.
Well, no, let me help you with it. The enrollment rules say that you have to have a parent on the roll. Okay, Edna,
Yes.
Rosemary Brown does not have a parent on the roll. She has a grandparent, and her mother, Thora Vivian Stadler, was eligible for enrollment in the 37 roll, but died before the paperwork was done. She submitted it, but died before it was approved by the business committee. So the last descendant actually on the roll of Rosemary Brown was Edna Parr, her grandmother. So this is
Okay.
this is a waiver of the parent rule to make it a grandparent rule.
And I would just
I
like
see.
to add that on the 37 census, to be eligible for the 37 census back then, you either had to have a parent or a grandparent that was an OIT. So there was a two-generation deal there.
So either a parent or a grandparent that was an allotee.
To be eligible for the 37 census.
Okay. So does that
Okay.
clear it up? Any other?
I guess my question,
Yeah.
I do have a follow-up question, if I
Oh.
may. So, Mr. Clark, we've got the application in our, for Thora Vivian Stadler, it just was never processed. Is that right?
She passed away when they all sent their paperwork in. Thora Vivian Stadler
Yeah.
passed away, and we can't enroll a person that's passed away. So what we did was that we used since Thora Vivian Stadler would have normally been eligible for the 1937 census. So that's just the way that we listed it here for the paperwork. But all of the birth certificates and death certificates, even item A, James' death certificate was sent to us.
And this is not without precedent. We've done this a number of times in the past, where we've had a grandparent on and a deceased parent that didn't get enrolled, and we've done a generation skip if they were eligible.
Okay, thank you.
Representative Bursall?
I personally have spoken to both Tobin Brown and his wife. I get the sense they are going to be very interested and very active tribal members. It's like they feel that they should, the ancestry did not, get them enrolled or, in time, and they're just now getting enrolled. But they're very, very delightful people. He happens to own the Chevrolet dealership in Walmego, but they are very active in the community up there, I understand, and I think they'll be good tribal members.
April Fool's Day, 1970.
That's what we do
Yeah.
know about item A, James, is that she's part of the Neto family.
Okay, then these are Nettos then?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, any other questions? Chair would entertain a motion to approve the resolution as read. Motion by Representative Bursall, seconded by Representative Whistler. Roll call, please.
Chairman Barrett,
Konigay?
Secretary Treasurer Trouser, Konigay, Representative Eva Marie Carney,
Vonnegut,
Representative Bursall,
Conagay.
Representative Payne,
Konigay.
Representative Johnson,
Conagay.
Representative Dave Carney,
Konigay.
Representative Whistler, Representative Slavin, Representative Wesselhoff, Representative Wesselhoff,
Konigay.
Representative Kraft,
Honegger.
Representative Smithcoffer,
Konagay.
Representative Bowden,
Honegger.
Representative Barrett,
Konagay.
14 in favor, 2 absent.
14 in favor, 2 absent. Any other business before the legislature? Chair will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Do you want to go on
Actually, we're not going to be able to take action on what we would talk about in executive session anyway, so we might as well adjourn if everyone could hold, and we'll we'll talk about it once we're, motion to adjourn? Motion made by Representative Spindlecoffer, seconded by Representative Whistler. Roll call, please.
Chairman Barrett,
Koenig,
Secretary Treasurer Trouser, Koenig, Representative Eva Marie Carney,
Honegay.
Representative Bursall,
Conagay.
Representative Payne,
Honegay.
Representative Johnson, Representative Dave Carney,
Honegay.
Representative Whistler, Representative Slavin, Representative Wesselhoff,
Koenig.
Representative Kraft,
Koenig.
Representative Swindlecoffer, Representative Bowden,
Koenig.
Representative Barrett,
Conagay.
14 in favor, 2 absent.
Okay, and vote 5. Okay,